ParaPass is Para's new streamlined onboarding tool, helping you earn more by unlocking new, long-term work opportunities in your area, and offering you a simplified and fast-track sign-up and onboarding process. With ParaPass, you get exclusive access to local opportunities. Para drivers are the first to be notified of new partner onboarding opportunities in their area. These gigs range from long-term full-time opportunities to extra work you can use to fill in downtime between your main platform work peak hours. You'll also get one-click simplified sign-up process. Sign up for multiple gigs at once. Once you've created your Para profile, you can use this to easily sign up for partner gigs without entering your information over and over again. ParaPass opportunities come with expedited onboarding. With ParaPass, you skip the line and just complete the onboarding essentials. A fast-tracked onboarding means you can start earning even sooner. Finally, you can manage all of your work in one place. When you complete your Para profile and onboard with ParaPass, you'll have early access to Para's new app integrations, meaning you not only have more work, you can manage it all in one place. To qualify for ParaPass and unlock these exciting opportunities, simply complete your Para profile. Once everything is verified, you're given the master key. We'll be sending you local opportunities so you can sign up right away. It's that easy. So complete your profile today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I saw my mic was muted. I was sitting back here. I actually ran the second ad. I was going to run it later, but I ran it because my mic was muted. But I realized, because I have a different mic than a lot of people, it actually, it can be plugged in, it can be turned off, changed. But I also have this toggle here that, it's a kill switch on the mic. And I was sitting there screwing with it because it wasn't going off mute, but it was because I had a video playing. And that's what the holidays will do to you. And that's what no snow will do to you when you're trying to get all this backcountry time in and whatnot. And we have, I mean, at best, last time I was up there was, it was just recent, but it was like 35-inch base. Big Sky, Montana has a 12-inch base. Big Sky can get upward of 70, 80-inch, 100-inch base. Brighton, Utah, usually by now has seen around 200 inches. They've had about 40. So all the big Rocky Mountain, all the way up to the Tetons and all the way into Montana, the best stuff before you get into Canada, is all like pretty barren right now. It's been a rough year. I've got, for what it is, I've got a decent amount of days in. But anyway, sorry I was a couple minutes late here. I'm trying to figure out what's going. My son is with my mom, visiting her in Boulder, and something with his car, and I don't want to get into it because I'm sure you would all have opinions. Nothing bad, but some oil pointed out by a neighbor. Maybe there's a slow leak. I don't know, but we haven't seen any signs of it. But anyway, that's not why we're here today. We're not here about my son's potential oil leak that we will get taken care of. Happy New Year, everybody. What's up? Welcome to The Last Mile, a weekly show dedicated to off-brand apps and websites, showcasing last mile courier, catering, and long haul deliveries. Also, I want to add into it this year, also with all those, being more independent in how you choose, what you choose, all of that. Because the more diverse you are, this has been the case forever, or since, at least since the pandemic, when multi-apping started becoming a must, or shortly after, is expand. If you haven't watched Last Mile before, this year's going to kind of blow up a little bit. I got some really great ideas, and it's not just last mile courier. It's not just catering. It could be Paraworks. It could be delivered. It could be deliver that. It could be Curri. It could be Roadie. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Fetch. Basically the rules here there are no rules. I'm just kidding. The rules here are as long as it's not Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Instacart, and I'm sure you guys might be saying, well, what about like a Walmart Spark or this or that? Those actually, they are giants, but Ship, Spark, like I might bring them into the conversation here, but as long as it's not the giants I just named, the Flex Association, basically Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Instacart. Am I forgetting something? No, as long as it's not that, that's what this show is not. So if you're here for any advice on those apps, I do talk about it on the podcast weekly. I talk about all those platforms. I'm not dissing on them, but I'm not going to put my whole gig future into them as well. Here we're here to show you different ways of earning and different apps, and we, it all a lot of times, guys. If you haven't watched this before, too, since it's the new year, I'll plug it. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you go back and watch some of the older ones, like I have some great guests. We talk about all kinds of things, especially in the courier space and where you can earn more money. And money, money, money. That should grab your ear right there. Money, money. I do gig work for money. I want to make as much money as I can. I want to optimize my time, and I want to optimize my hour. Each hour that I'm doing gig work, I want to be optimized to the T. I want to try and get my, my level of hourly usage to 90 plus on any given hour. Um, Most people, it depends on your market. It depends on how many apps. It depends on what you do and how hard you work it and whatnot, and a lot of factors. But a lot of people sit around 60% optimization of their hours. And some of those same people even tell you that when you ask them earnings, they tell you earnings. And then you say, well, how many hours? And they tell you the hours, the active time hours. I don't need your active time hours. If you did, $1,000 and 40 active hours, great. Sounds great. Actually, it doesn't. It sounds okay. It sounds good. But honestly, if you did that, that's great. But really, guys, and we all know this, how many hours were you on the app? Because it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you did 40 active hours. If you were on the app 80 hours, that's 80 hours of working. Even if you're not, and then you can really say, but a lot of that time I was doing some laundry, or it's still going in your head. You still have it on. You're still synced in. You're still matrixed into the gig apps, and yes, it does have a psychological effect, even when they're off. All kinds of things are getting proven. Yeah, today we're going to talk about the Fetch app. Don't run, guys, because I don't know a ton about it either, but we're going to talk about it because I got some screenshots ready to pull up, some offers to show you, because I've been pretty surprised. We're also I'm going to talk about a little bit of Curri and how Curri was a savior in December for me. And normally December, so in April, I will have been on the Curri app for 3 years. Normally in April or in December, maybe end of November, maybe. I feel like it gets pretty close to Thanksgiving. But right around there, the previous 2 years that I've been on Curri have been great years, but that's when it kind of dies off till about late February with some intermittent stuff. This December was one of the greatest Curri Decembers, or it was the greatest Curri December I've had. I mean, did I take all of the offers? No. A lot of the paint stuff was down when cold weather came in, and this, that, and the other. And so, but luckily they brought on a lot of new clients. But sometimes those are the ones I don't take, because I go, just like why I'm on Curri, I go for the money. I don't mind lifting the amount of that either. So to those of you that don't know about me and my Curri, like, I'll move thousands of pounds of paint in a day, or a couple thousand, usually not over that. But back in the days when I see Bud Soda in the chat, so okay, I can say this. There was a time when you could stack Curri. So I could do a scheduled tomorrow morning, another scheduled tomorrow morning. I knew that I could fit right around 950 in my SUV comfortably. Go a little more too, but comfortably. And I used to do that all the time out of this one center, and that was gone. It is being looked at as a level that if you attain a certain amount, I've been talking with people at Curri, and if you attain a certain amount, if you I don't know what the metric will be, but I've even told I mean, in the conversations I've just said to them, listen, just as a Hail Mary, just I don't care. But make a metric where the best of drivers, even if it is based on that, can stack. As long because I mean their system, I've asked them, their system is way more intelligent than most of these. And as I always say, they're the top shelf of last mile couriers. So bottom line is their system's pretty amazing. Like it not only does it know when an order can fit in my SUV, when I'm doing like paint. Okay, so if I take a four, if I and if you're not on the Curri app, I won't explain how it looks because it has a funky look when it's from Sherman Williams, but you get used to it. But if you do the total and it says like 400 pounds of paint, okay, that's a no brainer. I got that in my car. Now if it says now if there's another one for 500 or let's say another 400 just to keep it safe, and I want to take that too, I need to have a certain level or criteria, or maybe it's a certain number of deliveries. I don't know what, but they got to bring that perk back where I can take both of those, but also they can double check my math because they know that I drive a RAV4. They know what the RAV4 can hold. So they weren't when we were able to stack before, they weren't checking you to make sure that you knew how to do that. But you could do it. You could just double up. I guess probably one of the problems is that too many my one of my guesses. Sometimes I don't get in let into the absolute crypto box, but I do talk to everybody over at Curri. And to be honest, maybe it was people, who had smaller vehicles seeing these orders and like a Bud Soda, stacking it and saying, you know what, I'll get down there and I'll just figure it out. I'll strap the paint to the roof. I'll lasso a few back behind me they can drag. I'll put them on wheels. But they don't want that. So maybe a lot of people are showing up and they couldn't fit them. Who knows? And if we have a little time, I'm going to I'll bring up a little bit of roadie here too, because like the roadies that I have, I'm always collecting the screenshots from the apps I'm on, especially the last mile stuff. But these are just from this morning. And, well, yeah, I'll get back to that in 1 second because I actually, how I did that comparison or how I did those DoorDash shifts at the end of the year, right? Okay, um, so you know how bad I hate Roadie. It probably was my number one most hated app last year. So, can Roadie pay you more than DoorDash? Even after everything I just said, even after I just said Roadie's one of the worst apps out there. Can you make more on Roadie than DoorDash? Because I was doing some addition this morning. Now, I don't usually what I see is complete trash. What I saw this morning was complete trash. But the way after the testing I did with DoorDash, there was only like 2 of the shifts, and they were like Friday or Saturday nights, or they were shifts that should be lit. So, I mean, to be honest, like, okay, well, why why am I on DoorDash? And I'm like, guys, I'm familiar. I've done over 1,000 to you guys that do a lot of DoorDash. That means nothing. However, I've been doing gig work since 2015. I've done over 20K rideshare. So, I mean, I've got apps and apps and apps and apps under my belt, and there's a lot that I work still now as my primaries. And just, even in the pandemic, really most of the DoorDash I did was testing for para. So, and then when para was really raging with TT, I obviously was doing some more DoorDash because I was using it. But that's part of being team para. But yeah, so let me say hi to who's in the chat, because again, guys, I got thrown off a little bit by a car situation that my son's in. It's, he's where he needs to be, and the car's parked, so I can deal with it after this stream. But what's up, Derek? What's up, DC Rich? What is up, Bud Soda? Hey there, Bud Soda makes a lot of comments. I'll have to maybe go back and read if we have time. What's up, Traveler? 100 hours sitting there. Though that's $10 an hour. Maybe. Not really, dude. It's probably, my guess is it's more like $6.50 an hour. Yeah. What's up, Cody C? How are you, sir? You guys, I've got some really cool stuff coming up for the members too on the channel. Stay tuned. I think you guys are gonna like 2 new things I'm doing. That you guys are really, really gonna dig. So stay tuned. I appreciate you being members. Bud Soda, I just came. What is it? I just came out of the snow up your way. How do you guys have snow? I've been begging for snow here. Oh my God, search and rescue. Just they're not even basic. I mean, they're basically tanning at this point, and they're as low handed as can, like just a skeleton crew. There's no need. We have a 30-inch base. I saw Taos, New Mexico. Okay, if you guys aren't familiar, I know this rocky range all the way up to Montana and into Banff and Canada. But the lower end, when you get down the Santa de Cristos and you got Taos, they have a bigger base than like Silverthorne and like Breckenridge and all, and even Big Sky, Montana. 12 inches. Come on, dude. What is going on here? I mean, I've seen bad years. I know how to roll with it. It'll come. So okay. Oh, last thing I wanted to say, where are we? 18 minutes in. Happy New Year. I wanted to congratulate Gig Geezer. If you guys didn't know, smack that like, you guys, by the way, if you're just getting in here, or if you haven't yet, please, if you don't mind. Gig Geezer crushed it, man. I don't know if you guys remember. I always love having Geezer on this show. In fact, like, I feel like the episodes, it's not something that if we did it every week, it would have that same, I don't think, appeal, because the 3 times we've done it on this show, we've ran over the hour by a lot, but it's been constant, just straight numbers. When Geezer's on, we play straight numbers games. What do you think of this? And we're showing each other our orders. But as you guys know, if you know his channel, he switched to a cargo van this year. He has been hustling that down in South Carolina, Georgia, probably some North Carolina, Florida Panhandle, kind of that area. And he said, if you remember, I don't know how many of you follow this, but he said his goal was to be 100K. The last time he was on this show, he said, he goes, I'm pretty sure I'm going to cross the 100K. And I said to him, I think you're going to hit 119K. I don't know. It was just my intuition. And again, it was 6 weeks out of the New Year, so it wasn't a lot of time to like make some miracles to happen. But he ended up making not what I said, but he made over 110K. I think he made 112K. So he thought he was just going to barely creep up on 100K. I was like, 119. I don't know why it just came to me. And I think it was like 112. So why am I saying this? Because now I'm even more interested in older cargo vans. Because I will tell you one thing. Brian Kern isn't in here unless he's listening. But Brian uses a cargo van, he uses a 95 cargo van. Gigwise bought a cargo van. I don't know how much use he's got out of it on that kind of level. Geezer got a cargo van. But the Sprinter vans are so much money that it seems like a cargo van might even be a better choice, because actually in some of those older cargo vans, you have a little more room. Maybe not the headspace way, but you can still fit pallets. Depends on the van. But there's definitely better deals on older vans. So if nothing else, I do think that May, June, one of those months, I will probably rent a Sprinter van if nothing else has happened by then for a month. And I will turn my Curri side into that and try it because I've been told. And the other thing too, guys, if you do have pickup trucks, if you have a pickup and you listed it on Curri, you are listed as a large vehicle. But if you put accessory pipe rack in so many cities, you will move from wherever you are on the waiting list to immediately onboarded in most cities they're in. Pipe racks are big. Don't do it because I said it. If you guys want, you can always email. Would it just be support, I guess, on that one? Support. Support at curri.com and ask them if there is a need for larger. The way I would word it is I'm in this market and you have to be active or you have to have at least have a place in line. Like you have to be on their wait list or be active. But either of those, you can call them as long as you're on the wait list and just say, hey, I've been on the wait list. I was just trying to figure out if there's any need for larger size vehicles in my market. Because if they need pipe racks, if they need Sprinter vans, if they need box trucks, they will tell you. If they need trailers, they will tell you. Because they also don't want to be sitting there waiting for somebody to onboard who does have that. If they have a client and they need that, eventually, if they don't have a guy who has a box truck in a certain market and they have a client who needs the box truck, what happens? The client goes somewhere else. So you'd be surprised if you do have these larger vehicles. I do have a lot of people email me and say, so wait a minute, if I get a box truck, I will get off the list. No, and I also don't think that would be worth it, guys. Play your hand, try it before you do any of that. I'm saying if you have a pickup truck, maybe a used pipe rack at a junkyard isn't that much money. And you could probably have it installed right there at the junkyard. It doesn't have to be the prettiest thing. I'm just trying to put ideas out there, guys, because part of the thing about Last Mile is let's make more money than the mainstream apps. So that's why we talk about off-brand apps. Slick in Watertown. So because of ice, because it's still not snow. I was looking up where Faith is too. For those of you that don't know Faith's my sister from another state. And she works up in, I think it's Killington, that or Sugar. Yeah, I think it's Killington. She works the terrain park up there and they don't have anything either. So you guys aren't far from all those either. Drop off times have to. Hey, Red, how are you? What's up, Yup? What's up, Random Ryan? How you doing, buddy? Happy New Year to all you guys. Let's see, where am I? I recently got a good deal on a Chevy Express 1500 2014, 115K. Unfortunately, Curri not taking any new drivers now in Chicago, very oversaturated. Pickup. Okay, but did you, and this is a big difference because where a box truck or a Sprinter van or a cargo van or a trailer might be not needed at all, let's say Chicago, and I do know about these markets very well because I'm very tied in with the Curri team. I do know Chicago is very saturated. But did you check specifically about pipe rack? Because even cargo vans and stuff, they can't do all the piping. Pipe racks are needed, like pickup trucks with pipe racks are needed. I'm not saying go out and get one, but you're saying that you're in the Chicago area. It might be worth checking for sure. And welcome, by the way. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. You don't get I guess they do get snow in Austin once in a while. But I don't understand. I feel like it's like just kind of blows through. Like we sent you a little bit. and you get a little dusting, Okay, so let's move into this because this is new to me, guys. This fetch thing. So the first thing I want to tell you guys though about is, oh, did I not take the screenshot? I do have everything loaded, but do I? Okay. So when you search the App Store, this will come up. If you put in fetch or even fetch app. So you would think fetch app, okay, but obviously you're in the App Store, but if you put fetch, and it is a dog, and so is the other fetch. This fetch is actually the one that's going to come up. So you have to put fetch delivery or kind of scroll way down. You might find, I think you can find the customer side of the fetch delivery app. But I was going to tell you guys real quick, I won't spend much time on it, but I'm going to show you right here. This fetch, the one I just showed you here, it's free. And if you're not familiar with it, I did want to just at least share this with you guys. Anywhere you shop, groceries, restaurants, gas stations, online, almost anything you can think of. And that, yes, this includes online purchases at like Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon, any of that. You can use the receipt scanner, snap the receipts, earn points. You can redeem for free gift cards, donations that you can put in your name. Also, all kinds of other stuff too. Basically, anything though, gas stations, literally anything. So if you are into it, this is not the app I was talking about, but I really didn't know about it. I think I'd heard about it a couple times, so I got a little confused too. So that's why I wanted to point this out. This is the app you will be looking for. Now, if you see the below, up top, you see a 3-star rating. This is the Apple. This is the Apple Store, App Store. 101 ratings, 3 stars. Okay, we know that happens with a lot of apps. Maybe it's a little maybe it's a little clunky, maybe it's, who knows, people just don't like it. It wasn't in their area, so they gave it a 1-star review. But if you look 19,000 and it's like 4.7 or 4.8 stars that's for the people using the app. So the people using the app love it. Now, I've known that they've been around for a minute. I used to think that Fetch, so there's a couple of things that happen. So when I downloaded Fetch, first, obviously check if they're in your area. If they're not, though, they're moving pretty quickly. So this is what, I don't know if you guys remember Kyle. Kyle's been a long-term resident of the gig community here on YouTube, and he put some comments into a community post I made about Fetch, and he said he remembered it from a while back as this, what's up on the screen. Basically, he said, so an apartment complex didn't have to have a sorting facility room. They could use Fetch, and the Fetch people would take it around the facility, or I don't know, because I've seen a couple different things that show this. And then the videotape that I was shown after I was onboarded to the app, or the video that they send you, I do watch those. I mean, if they were like 20, 30 minutes, and I know that in the old days, they'd been like, why wouldn't you still watch it? But I'm not going to watch a 20, 30-minute training video. But this was like 4 minutes. That's about, 5 is probably the tops. Other than that, I'd probably just try it first and see how I did out of the box. But I was like, I'll watch this. I was a little confused anyway. Like, I knew it was last mile couriers, but I'm like, okay, what is this? Let's see how this works. One thing that it looks like that it does that's huge to me, it reduces the miles that you'd be driving. Because even, yes, you are doing apartments, but the video I watched, and we have 2 Denver centers. So every city has like 1 to 4 different centers you pick up at. So a lot of it here, at least in the video, showed our office buildings, the big ones downtown, and even some of the bigger ones in Littleton and some of the adjacent towns and whatnot, like, even 5, 6 stories, but definitely like the big ones downtown, the 40, 50s, like those. I feel like maybe you're kind of an on-demand mail room for an office building that isn't just one thing anymore, that's so ripped apart and changed with the time. So it's like You're not putting a lot of miles on your car from what I can tell, and I've seen all the routes. That's the other reason we're talking about it today, guys, by the way, is when I show you the pay here in a minute, one of them looks really good, pretty good, They come in blocks. It's kind of like an Amazon Flex thing. If you finish early, you keep the full amount. If you so whatever the amount is, that's what you're going to be paid, and it has a window of either 2 or 3 hours. That window, it will not take you longer than that window to do the work. In fact, I was on Reddit. I was doing some reading on it, and it sounds like a lot of these apps that do that. Amazon Flex will cut it close, but like Curri, Route Runners, and some of the other ones that do it too. And even like the early days of VHO, it sounded like nobody, if it's a 3-hour block, it sounded like nobody ever does 3 hours. Like that's going to be 2.5 hours. So I guess it's one of those things you'll need to feel out, because they definitely don't keep you over. And there's nothing about overtime pay. It just says it will not ever take, like all the stuff I was reading in there, it just will never take you longer than that. Okay. It's because you don't have to drive far again. I don't know. I don't know how they know that won't take, how long it'll take you, but my guess is it just comes up a little bit, But why fetch? Be your own boss. We know all this. You can pick shifts in advance, and I'll show you guys in just a second kind of how they look. You can go into the app and see what's available, but I like all apps these days, I just have it set on alert, drop down, stay on my lock screen, so that no matter what, even if I'm away from my phone for a second, I can see it immediately or immediately thereafter and still have a shot potentially. But we all know that these days, with some of the better apps and offers that might pay better and whatnot, they get taken a little quicker. So delivery shifts are typically only 2 to 3 stops at local apartment communities. This came from the App Store breakdown, but I got to tell you guys, the onboarding video they had me watch showed like getting it at your pickup facility, and then it showed like maybe a third of it was about apartments, but the other 2/3 was about office buildings. So I don't know if this just isn't updated. But yeah, it's all ready for you when you get there. They're all labeled. You drop them off one at a time. So as you can see here, it's simple to create an account, fill out your profile, and receive a notification upon approval. Start earning cash in your area today. Earn in your area from $18 to $25. Actual earnings will depend on your location, how long it takes you to complete deliveries. So for my area, no, this is just my area, it's been the lowest it's been is 21. But from what I can tell from everybody, the lowest it's been is about 20. So what is it saying here? 18 to 25. Now I also know that, again, I think some of this is dated from the App Store right out, or they're right up there on the App Store. Because I think you can make more. I think you can make 27, 28, 29. In fact, I'm going to prove something to you guys. So here are the first 2 that came through to me. So this is for what, today? Or no. Yeah, this is for today. But okay, yeah. I'm going to show you something here. So these, when it says available, this came through on Tuesday. They can come through on day of, even though these say Wednesday. Those are the delivery days. There were none available for Tuesday, but then I hope it's this one. Okay. So if you look today at okay, so at 12:31, and then that would have gone to the blocks, but if you click it from here, you get it. So 2 to 5, for me, 2 to 5, if I'm doing Curri, I'll stick with Curri, but if a lot of times my Curri is done by 11 a.m. and then I try and grab a couple afternoons, but even those are like early afternoon. We'll have to see how winter does though too. But 2 to 5, 3:30 to 6:30, those are good times for me if I've been out all day. And if you look at that block that came through at 3:01 today, $93 for 3:30 to 6:30. That's $31 an hour. And they're saying earn 18 to 25. Again, I think that it's just not updated. but this is what came through to my phone today. So they're paying way better than, and I'm not guys, I am not saying, "Hey, look at this is the bank account. This is what we should all be doing." I'm just saying Fetch, I've only been on it 2 weeks or a week and a half. Tony, the driven dad, he's already on it too. I told him he should get on it because it's here in our market. So between us, maybe we'll get some feedback going to you guys here quickly. But I mean, I can't complain compared to other apps right now. Like that bottom one, I can't complain about. 3:30 to 6:30. And especially because I know a lot of you guys go way, way into the night. But remember, I get up and do Curri. I get up at 5 a.m. My first Curri pickup is usually 5:30. And then my second one is usually 7 Mountain Time. And then I always hope for a third around 9, 9:30. Kind of puts me back about 11. So, but my point is that like after I do all that, I come home, I work on podcast, I do this, that, and the other. I might get another Curri run. I might have some para work stuff I'm doing. I might be working with Team Para. But then if this comes through, 3:30 to 6:30, I mean, I don't know, to me, sweet. Now I'm going to end my day with that. That's another $93 and I'm going to be done at 6:30 cuz I don't like going much. I can. And for any that doubt me, those that know me can defend me because I mean, I've drove to Vegas for Curri. I've drove to Utah twice for Curri. So, I put in the long, long hauls. But I just don't, if I've been up since before the sun by hours and it's now, I don't even know, 5, it starts getting 6:37. So it's 14 hours later. That's me at my absolute extreme, unless I were doing some long haul road thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. I mean, check out Fetch. I gotta say, like, I know that some people told me about it a while back. It's not that it's only been around for even just a little bit. It's been around for a while. I don't think it was doing well a while ago. And by that I mean, I started doing some reading up on some articles and stuff, and their growth in customers has gone huge. So, um, yeah. uh, I mean, check it out. I don't know about you guys. I'm interested because now I'm looking for. I'm coming into the comments here. I want to see what you guys were thinking, and if you haven't put it, let me know. I mean, what do you think about that? 3:30 to 6:30, $93. And by the way, like that was like a 2.4 miles that you'll be driving. The rest, what you need is like um like a cart, like a folding cart. And even in the tutorial, it says folding carts are helpful. They're not necessary, but to me, even in the video, it looked like they're necessary. Plus, I have one, and and I'm all about using it. I mean, let's see. I mean, less search and rescue needed is good for safety, but not for business. Well, for me, man, it's um for me it's a little different too, Ryan, because uh I'm just trying to get my feet wet. It's to like some of these veterans, a year of bad snow is like, oh, sweet. But it always ends up being something. And it just means summertime, more runoffs from the 14ers and things like that. So then we have some flooding down in valleys. And so, I mean, it's just extreme weather. This is just one of the worst starts I've seen to a winter, but uh, let's see, lake effect snow. Yeah, I'm from Michigan. I grew up with lake effect from Chicago. It was brutal and black ice. Let's see. If you're willing to do the work, let me see what Ryan says. If you're willing to do the work, hire. Then getting a box truck and Dow apartment moves. Dow. Hmm. There's a lot of money to be made. Look, man. Dude, I love my backcountry snowboarding. I love what I do carry for Curry. I ain't lifting couches, man. I ain't in my early 20s anymore, man. I don't even think I'd move my own furniture anymore. I'm not kidding. And I have never done that. Now, Max and I have been here about 10 years, but the last time we moved to here, and I've moved a lot. Um, I don't, not a chance, man. Yeah. So the enterprise thing, actually, it's funny you say that, Ryan, because the enterprise thing is what Curry does for when if they get a route runner position, they just rent an enterprise truck and then you're able to use them. So let me see. I recently got a good deal. Oh, wait, I already saw this. I'm way behind. Maybe not. You don't have a pipe wreck, but you haven't asked. So yeah, I mean, ask. Um, I don't know. What part of Chicago are you in? If you don't mind me asking, because I can ask two team members too. If there's how bad the oversaturation is in that area, and is there a need for any size vehicles at all, especially Chicago? Because I know, yeah, you guys are struggling in a lot of ways right now with gig stuff. Not that everybody isn't. I'm just talking about legislation and other things that we will be talking about here soon. Um, I'm so lost, you guys. Sorry, I fell so far behind. You're 55 and 294. So you're south end, and I-55 is like what comes up from Peoria, Illinois. Is that right? And 294 is the loop around the city. Curious. I'm curious how Curry would be in Michigan. I'm on the list. I'm in the list. Well, you're on the list. So, um, what up, yup? What do you mean? They're in Grand Rapids, they're in Lansing, and they're in Detroit. Eventually, they get everywhere, you guys. But you got to start with the big cities because they land bigger accounts. Although sometimes they do oddly pop up in little cities because they get accounts. Okay, well, then fix it for me, bro. But like I was saying, by the way, the Currys like saved me in December this year, and last year I gotta say, like, I don't know I don't know how if I can go that far back in records. I feel like in the app, if I go back to last year Curry, I can't look at the per month. I can only look at now the whole calendar year. Whereas you can go back a certain number of months and see months. But I'd like to see how many I took last December. Maybe that's not too well, I think it would be, but if I can, I'll try and see because I'd like to see how much I made in December. Because if I remember right, I didn't do much Curry in December at all. In fact, a couple of these winners, I've either gone back to other apps that I don't like, or I've onboarded to new things. Like when I onboarded to Instacart and Shipped 3 years ago, that was a challenge, you know. But so let's talk about some roadie here. So you guys know I dog this to crap, right? I mean, wow. Yeah. Um, so I don't know if you guys are seeing this real good because I'm not, but I think it says 13 or 12 miles at least. So this is a CVS pharmacy thing. The reason I have this in one more CVS, it's not that they're even the worst of all these. It's that I needed to point this out though. It's not $1 a mile, I know, but this is shipped used to do all CVS because CVS was in Target. Now CVS has no affiliation with Target. They are out. They are only working with Roadie. And so if I was to do a couple roadies, I have seen a couple of these I might do. This is not one. And it would always have to be even if it's pharmacy, it would always have to be the direction I'm going because they're never good enough on their own. So I would have to go Bud Soda style and and stack these. So, but here tires, why are my eyes so bad? 18 or 19 miles. I don't know, guys. $16. But you know what? Like, again, I know where I live and I don't want to drive from there to there for $16 for what they're calling 40 minutes. And, I don't know. To me, it's not worth it because I think we've been to Discount Tire. I use Discount Tire, like Discount Tire. But even I mean, it's not always as easy as just running up and grabbing what you need. You get there at the wrong time, you're behind 4 people. They don't prioritize. I mean, maybe if they start to get to know you, but there's a lot of wasted time in those. This I've never seen, so I just wanted to bring this up. Again, guys, this isn't the worst batch I've ever seen. These were from this morning. They're all horrible, but they're not. It's not like I brought them in like I normally do, just to march out the worst of the worst. I mean, some are worse than others, but this one's bad, obviously. And I know the 2 areas, like $10 to take a car seat that far, and what is that, baby gear? I don't even know. So, and then another Discount Tires. If you guys notice, yeah, $31, but they want you to go, what is that, almost 60 miles, or is that 50? I cannot see. And as I've said, at least in my market, roadie time is never correct. So if that says an hour 11, it's not. I mean, it sometimes it might be close, but sometimes it's way off. And that one's not even close to right. But $31 for about an hour and a half, and then you're stuck way down there, hoping for a comeback, maybe. I don't know. But on its own merit, it doesn't stand at all. Even if you had a return, I mean, if you had the same return as this one, okay. So if you were gonna, and let's say that let's call it an hour 15 to be nice. That's being nice. So an hour 15 each way. It's really probably an hour and a half. So it'd be a total of 3. But let's say it's 2.5 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. You're going to put 120 miles on your car. You're going to deliver tires both ways. You're going to make $62. Is it worth it to you to put 120 miles on your car, spend 3 hours of your time, $20 an hour, then the gas? I don't know. These are not orders that, like, when I go to Colorado Springs from Denver, you guys know it's not even something I do. But the other day, or right before it was my last Curri of the year, it was like on Friday before New Year's. So it was the December 29th. I did that same about distance, about the same distance, from a different spot to a little bit of a different spot, but Denver to Colorado Springs. I took 5 65-pound shingle packets that I put in the back of my car. So about 300 pounds. I was able to lift each one myself. And that paid $155. So why would I do this? And that was just the one way too. That wasn't a coming back. What's up with this one? What is this one? 24 miles, 40. Wait, what is that? 41 minutes. Yeah, I mean, $15. Bud Soda's favorite, Tractor Supply Company. $12 for 17 miles. Yep. Nope. Not even close. And then this one, oh, this is the other CVS. I'm just pointing out that CVS does seem to be the highest paying. I see you guys probably do as well. If you have roadie, you can see, you're probably seeing other pharmacies. I probably see about 4 or 5. But to be honest, the CVS ones pay a decent amount more. Here, like Script Doc and stuff, they pay like $8 to do those same ones. Like this might be $8. This might be $10. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, CVS is the best paying one. The other thing about that I did want to mention real quick is it's weird because If you guys didn't notice, up in Seattle, Shipped is not working. You can't get same day ship delivery anymore because they can't handle the labor laws. So that said, Mike Harubi, me, live January 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I think I got a thumbnail floating out there too. Hit notify me. It's going to be a good conversation. Let me jump in the chat and see what you guys got going here. But these Curri ratings issues is starting to bother me. Yeah, Josh, you're not the only one. And they, hey, look, to Josh's comment, again, here's where I'll defend Curri though, because at least they address it. They don't bury it. They don't lie about it. They don't say, "Oh, we're not having problems." Like it's actually pretty cool how upfront they are. Now I know a lot of people. I know I've introduced Josh to a couple people at Curri. So that's a little bit different, but I'm even just talking in general. I see the way that they handle things differently than all the other companies or most of the other companies I know. And that part is what always, no matter what kind of goes down, I'm always there to even try and help. I mean, Josh knows I do testing for these things for Curri. I think he's done one or two too, but they basically plugged my brain in. I even spoke at one of their 3-year anniversary or their 4-year anniversary online thing they did. They had me as a speaker. So Steve, let me email you a huge list of apps available. Okay. Please do. I was going to say, guys, by the way, if you have any app or website, because again, this year we're going to be talking about some websites too. There's some loading board stuff that I need to try out myself, but I'm almost there. Like I just needed to get through the holidays, have a little time, but I'm going to at least try them, just like I'm doing with Fetch, and I'm going to do with all these. But if you guys have any apps or websites, gigs, last mile, catering, long haul stuff, medical, courier, any of that kind of stuff that you specifically want to know about, leave it in the comments or email me at steve@ridesharerodeo.com, because I'm happy to, if you guys want to know about something, even if I don't, I'll make it like for one of the weeks upcoming that I'll look into it. I might have to add another one too if it's like really small and not in my market, but at least I'll do the research and tell you what I learn about it. But yeah. Oh, that is so bad. I don't know which one you were talking about, but I'm sure it was one of the roadies. But so guys, I didn't see enough in there. So the $31. Hey, Side Hustle 24/7. How you doing? The $31 here. Let me put it up there one more time, because I didn't really see responses on this. That bottom one, would you take that? And remember, you're probably not going to need the whole 3 hours. Like it can't go over the 3 hours, and you're going to be paid that regardless. And it's not 900 pounds of paint like I do for Curri. This is just package delivery, like VHO and stuff, when VHO was good. But oops, would you take that? Curious. Like I said, end 6:30. Okay, but would you take it? I see what you're saying. Okay, great. Would you take that? Because I guess my thing is like between 3:30 and 6:30, even if you are hustling, how good are you doing right now? But the other thing is, yes, you get to get a new app under your belt. Plus, you get a 3-hour block where you're guaranteed an amount of money. I don't know. To me, in a year and a half ago, had you asked me that, it said, I don't need the guarantee. I hustle. But I don't need the guarantee all day long. But it's nice to have a few gapped in through your week. I mean, again, I wouldn't take, it's gotta keep going up in pay or stay around there. But let me see. I would if it was earlier in the day, but the basic facts are great. Okay. You'll do the $18 ones off hours. Oh, so you're saying like the other one I was showing you, like this one, it was still 21. Because if you look, it was 3 to 6 for 63. That's still 21, and then it was 12 to 2 um, for 42, which is still 21. It just went up to these went up. These came out later in the day. These were the ones that came out last night, Tuesday night. And that's another thing that if I didn't mention it, that is one of the reasons I am talking about Fetch here today, is because since I just onboarded to it, it's pretty amazing. One of the things I told Tony, he's like, "Is it good?" I'm like, "I don't know yet." and and then I was like, I'm like, I'm like, the only thing I do know is I'm seeing decent paying orders coming through, and I'm seeing a lot of them. And as we know, like even when I got on Curry, when other people get on Curry, whatever, you don't see a ton till you get a few under your belt. Well, Delivered, I mean, some of these other apps kind of do that too. Well, this one, I had nothing under my belt, and they were throwing everything at me. So I don't know if I feel like they must have, and that's why I was showing you their ranking too with customers on the app. I feel like they must have done a real customer push and somehow acquired more than just average growth. Um, so for whatever it is, I feel like Yup just sent me an email that says we have DoorDash and Uber Eats and Lyft and Uber. I don't know exactly where you got to tell me where you are though too. Yup, I know you're in Michigan, and I know you're down in southern Michigan, like pretty close to the Ohio border, maybe down by getting near Toledo. So you're maybe between Detroit and Toledo. Am I right? I didn't update the vehicle on Curry. I forgot. Just did. And they sent me a text for a background. Oh, yep. So if you get background checked, um, yeah, if you did you not put in any car? Because if you don't put in any car, they don't let you know that. I've actually had people tell me this. I didn't used to know this. Um, they said that they'll still say you're on the waiting list, but they'll say that um oh, we received it, you're in the waiting list, blah blah blah, but you're not. If you don't put a vehicle in there, they can't you're not on the waiting list. Glad that you did said that, because I probably would have forgot to even mention it. So everybody, that applies. If you didn't put a vehicle in when you applied, go put one in. Um let's say Auburn Hills. That's north. Dude, I have family all over Troy. Up. I got family all over Detroit, but I got family up in Troy, so I think that's pretty close to where you are then. Heck yeah. Derek, we still gotta get you on too. But yeah, dude, if you put the vehicle in and they sent you a text for the background, I will tell you this, I can't guarantee anything, but honestly, uh Curry doesn't do the background check for waitlist. They don't do it till you're coming off. So I don't want to get your hopes up or anything. I'm just telling you that usually if you got a thing saying they need to run the checker, then most likely they're bringing you on. Don't hold me to it, but I'm just letting you know. How do I change it? I wish it was just a menu I could change. For what? For your vehicle? Is that what you're saying? How do you change the vehicle? Um, I don't, to be honest, I don't know if that's something you can change yourself, Bud Soda. If you can't, oh, there you go. So wait a minute, did it just let you add another vehicle? Because one thing I do know, I haven't had to do it yet, but it should remove your other vehicle. Unlike other apps, it won't let you have multiple vehicles. So if it did it right, it should have removed your other vehicle because you can only have one on the Curri app. Again, that one would be a support at curri.com if it screws it up or somehow you're like, well, wait, I got two, it won't let me delete one. I'm saying I would email them, not because you'll get in trouble, but I'd email them to make sure that their system registered that you have a bigger vehicle and they will manually take it out. Again, that's kind of like what Josh was mentioning, same type of thing. Like sometimes it gets a little grassroots with some of these companies, but that's why we do shows like this, because then when we hit those kind of like, wait, what do I do? We remember that, oh, okay, yeah, all I got to do is contact them and that they're smaller, they'll get back to me. And no, I don't need to worry about this. And there's no acceptance rating and all the good things, completely transparent. So, Bud Soda, you just got yours switched too. Awesome. you know, uh, yeah, I don't know what that'll mean. I don't, because I don't know if we ever look into Waterton or Watertown. I feel like we did. Response. I'm aware of. Yeah, pickup's a game changer, dude. Side hustle 247. So that would be support. Most everything defaults to support. The only other real one, because I mean, I have people's names that I use, but I don't give those out like, people who are in charge of things and the CEO and those like, but the only other one that's really important is um what do you reactivation. So it's either going to, the two emails you really need to know for Curri are support at curri.com and reactivation at curri.com, because reactivation, if you guys don't take a Curri for 3 months, they do a thing called soft deactivating you. So you won't see any orders, but all you need to do is email reactivation at curri.com and say, hey, sorry, I didn't take any, or not even sorry, just I didn't take any deliveries for the past 3 months. I'm no longer receiving orders. Can you please reactivate me? And it usually happens the same day that you send the email. So if people get soft deactivated, don't think you were deactivated. Curri's just smart. If you for 3 months are getting drop down orders and they see you in the pool and they say, oh, so we've got this many drivers and you're one of them, and in 3 months you haven't taken any, they're not mad, but they don't want to send you offers anymore until you email them and say you're still interested. And then they'll send them for another 3 months. And if you don't take another one for 3 months, you can do it again. So it's not even bad. It's just they don't want to waste the money of sending the data if you're not taking anything. I get it. Um, so oh, I got deactivated by Ship too in that like offboarding thing. I don't know that I need back on. Uh, yeah, I guess we'll see how the next few months go. This month's kind of crazy for me because I got a lot of other stuff going on too, for snowboarding and for some political stuff, and some legislation stuff for gig work and whatnot. And the Mike Harubi thing is going to be a big deal, guys. I got something to announce. I have Mike Harubi on January 22nd. We also have Kim Cavan, Karen Anderson, and Mike Harubi and I doing the follow-up piece to the last one we did about independent contractorship, because something with the rule change will happen in January. And Kim feels 100% sure about that. And she, as soon as it happens, we'll be scheduling it within probably the week. Traveler, yeah. man, it's one of those things. Like, I don't know. Before we get out of here, I will say to Traveler that I'll tell you, uh, mm, Gigan had like 2 or 3 Curries that he was kind of picking off in Minneapolis. Minneapolis is this is a perfect example is why. First of all, Gigan has a W-2, so he has seen more, but he can't take them all because he's at his W-2. The ones he's seen where he tries, he hasn't got them. He didn't have a driver score, so he grabbed whatever ones he could, like I said, because it's good to get to 5. He had 3, and when he went down to Phoenix for the holidays, he stopped through here in Denver, and in one day, he got his 2 more Curries to have a total of 5 and have a driver score. So now he has a driver score. He was in Phoenix and he was getting offers. When my guess is when he gets back to Minneapolis, he'll see more. So Traveler, I don't know if you ever are traveling. I mean, I know you do because you came out here, but if you ever, go to a more active Curry city, and you're down there for a few days or visiting family somewhere, you might want to look because if it's a hot spot, um, Curry spot, you could probably get you 5 rides in there. And even if the volume is low in Syracuse where you are right now, by next summer it won't be as slow, or it might be off the hook. Curry's growing because they're the top shelf. They're the top shelf of of last mile courier services, and businesses know it, and everybody knows it. And so, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if, like, okay, so you're in Syracuse. I don't know if, like, I'll do a little poking around. Bud Soda probably knows just by the area, but like my guess is Rochester isn't probably very much better. I don't know if Albany might be good for Curry. Like, I wouldn't want to go down to New York City. I don't know how far exactly Albany is for you. Buffalo has been fairly slow for Chris. From the rideshare guy. So you got to find that market that isn't slow. It doesn't need to be popping off the hook, but where you can go reel in 3, 4, 5 in a day or two. And if you could do that, then you'd have a driver score and you would be top on the list. Yeah, see, but New York City, like Kim Side Money Plans is she's just over New York City in the New Jersey side. All she sees are New York City offers, and it's not just the city, and the tolls are reimbursed by Curry, but it's everything. She's like, there's no way. I mean, all I see are going into the city, and I would never do that. So, I don't know. I'm wondering if, like, Syracuse in winter, I've actually been there in the winter. It's not a warm place, and there might not be a lot of yeah, but you can go out of state too, Traveler. Like, look at my friend Dana. Dana and I have been doing Curry for the same amount of time. He does it in a Prius. I do it in my RAV4. Dana is we've almost I mean, I onboarded in April 3. When April comes, I'll be on 3 years. He was June. So when June comes, he'll be on 3 years. So we're 2 months apart. And he's done almost the same amount with his Prius. Boston is a hot spot. Curries bounce all day there. So, like, I don't know if you have a family member in Boston and you want to go spend a couple days visiting somebody, go get a turn. You can turn the other apps on too, but go get a cheap hotel room. Again, I don't know how far things are for you. For me, for one single app, I don't know if I would do that. And I don't want to give this kind of advice, but for Curry, and again, guys, like I was talking about, I've pulled my affiliate links. My affiliation to my love for Curry is enough for me to pitch it. I'm not telling you guys to use a link. Just go sign up for it. Para works, just go sign up for it. Para, just go sign up for it. If you have questions, Steve at withpara.com. But I've taken the affiliate links out because I don't want anybody thinking that has anything to do with what I'm recommending. So just try them. But I don't know if you could I see Side Hustle 247 put Connecticut. I'm not really my geography is good, but I'm trying to think of like what's the big town in Connecticut? Is it Bridgeport or is that even in Connecticut? I don't know. Again, and all of these companies, guys, it's not look at Roadie's the only one where in the app you can zoom out and zoom into any city in the US and see what offers are available. Curri, Viho, they don't want you knowing their hotspot cities. And it makes sense because if they told you this is a huge city for us, we got a great foothold, what do you think happens? The other companies come in and underbid it. So on the Curri website, you're not going to find a map that shows you what are the great cities but if you guys want to ask me certain things like, so for Traveler in that case, okay, you don't want to drive to Boston. Well, that's fine. What about Cleveland, Ohio? I do know Cleveland has a lot of Curri offers. Again, I don't know how far that is for you. I'm from Michigan. That's why I know the geography I'm talking about so well. But if that's something you would do, I don't know. Or you can wait till next summer because I honestly believe Syracuse, along with many other cities, will be booming next summer because of some national contracts Curri has and whatnot. In fact, we with Para are trying to do some things with Curri, so I'm kind of even a little more in the mix of what they're looking at and some of the bigger clients and the way that they're taking on smaller clients who have no faith in the who have no faith in how these work. Oh, guys, like $100. Okay, yeah, I hear you, Bud Soda, but this is what I'm talking about. This is not a PSA to any illegal immigrant that's renting a $40 DoorDash account on Facebook to go to City Hop. That problem's already happening. I'm saying this is a good chance for a friend of ours, Traveler, to just go. I mean, and he's not moving there, but to go to a city that has a lot of offers, get the 5 under his belt so he's got a driver score. The driver score is important, you guys. You got to have one. I mean, you don't. I mean, Gigan got his. Tony got his. Tony lives here in my market, so it was a little easier. But like here, I'll show you guys. You got to have a driver score because there's 3 factors when determining underneath Sprinter van, cargo van, box truck, and larger, all the way up to 18 wheelers. I had a couple requests. There's 3 factors. How close are you to the pickup? Vehicle size. These are the metrics that go into the measurement of the people interested in the round robin, and then it kind of spits it out a little quicker. So proximity, size of vehicle, and both of those really don't matter. Like I said, my friend Dana in Boston, he gets tons of stuff. He can do about 800 pounds of paint in that Prius. So it really doesn't matter. But what you do need to have your driver score. So after 5 trips, if customers don't have to rate you. I do have some customer ratings, of course, but like after 5 trips, you will have a driver score. It takes 5 to have one. But yeah, guys, that's it. I got to figure out what's going on with my son's car. Welcome to 2024. And I am I will be back next week. Sorry, my brain's been a little bit thinking about Max's car and some other things I got going on, and it's been crazy. We don't have a roundtable this week, but we do have the Gig App podcast by Para tomorrow on Para Gig Smarter and here on Rideshare Rodeo Channel. We have another CEO. So join us tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Did I do that right? Yeah. All right, guys. So that's about it. I got lots of things coming in the month, and some of them are going to be regulation related. and state specific. So we're going to be talking about that stuff too. Don't worry, we won't bore you guys. It ain't C-SPAN. That said, you guys, that's a wrap for the week. Thank you all for watching, and see you back here last week on the last final mile.